Welcome back to another episode of Sammy and Marissa's Husbands. Hope y'all are having a wonderful drive to work on Monday morning. I'll go over the agenda a little bit for you guys to start. We got a This Day in History. We got an athlete, some Reddit stories, talk a little bit about this rap beef that is ongoing. Then we'll get into the Kentucky Derby, fun little event that happened this weekend, NBA playoffs, and then a new segment that we like, random question. So, this day in history, right? Cinco de Mayo. But before that, Ben and Jerry's, I know this is significant to you, Tyler. Ben and Jerry's opened their first ice cream shop in 1978. Any guess where they opened that ice cream shop?
I feel like somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Good guess in the Northeast. It's Burlington, Vermont.
I should have known that.
Yeah, should have associated cold with ice cream. Um, but also Cinco de Mayo, right? May 5th. So what is Cinco de Mayo? What do you think?
Isn't it Mexican Independence Day?
Not Mexican Independence Day. That's a common misconception. Mexican Independence Day is September 16th, 1810, when Mexico broke free from Spanish rule. Cinco de Mayo is the anniversary of the Battle of Puebla. In the 1860s, Mexico owed money to Europe, basically all of Europe, and they started calling in their debts. Britain and Spain compromised a payback plan with Mexico, but France, under Napoleon, saw an opportunity to secure Mexico as a dependent empire. And basically, France outnumbered Mexico, and they were going to basically just demolish them, but they started to get cocky. Puebla de Los Angeles was defended by Mexican troops, forcing the French to retreat, and it basically inspired the Mexican army. The French didn't actually withdraw for another 6 years, but it's like a monumental day in Mexican history. So we celebrate a random battle in Mexican history by drinking our faces off.
So it's a real holiday of Mexican heritage and pride. And then we've just co-opted it to get drunk.
Correct. It's a real holiday of Mexican heritage. But we know nothing about it, and we just use it because it's fun to say and an excuse to drink.
Classic white people, bro.
Some serious white people shit. Honestly, that's like the most white people shit ever.
I wonder how Mexican people feel about that.
I would actually like to know that as well. I don't know. I could see them being upset, but also I could see them being like, you know what? Like Mexican people are typically pretty cool about cultural stuff.
Yeah, it could be, one of those things where you don't like it, or you could not mind because it's bringing more eyes to Mexican culture.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big misconception is Mexican Independence Day. Like that's what I thought it was. Like
Yeah.
when I typed in this day in history to find out about it, I typed in Cinco de Mayo, Mexican Independence Day, and it was like common misconception, not actually Mexican Independence Day. But in theory, it's a second Independence Day, right? Because they got their independence from Spain originally, and then France tried to then take their independence. So this is like a celebration that they didn't get their independence taken from them day, but AKA just buy a lot of modelos and some chips and salsa and drink our faces off.
So it's Mexican Stay Independent Day.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Okay. I vibe with that.
Yeah, I vibe with it too. You got an athlete for us?
Yes. And this is an interesting one. He's a three-sport athlete.
Three, okay, big time.
His name is Curtis Pride,
Okay.
former Major League Baseball player, played a total of parts of 11 seasons in the majors, a total of 23 seasons of professional baseball if you count when he came into rookie ball and then when he retired. Started in 1987, retired in 2009.
Wow.
His stats don't really jump off the page at you. 250 batting average, 20 home runs, 82 RBIs, was mainly like a pinch runner and a outfielder. Like most of his major league career was a call up from the minors whenever somebody was injured. What's interesting about him is he didn't play college baseball. He went straight to the pros from high school, but he did play college basketball. He played 4 years at William and Mary as a starting point guard. Two-time CAA all defensive team and one-time CAA all freshman team. And in high school, he played for the United States FIFA under 16 World Championship team, scored 2 goals in the tournament in China, was named a top 15 youth prospect in the world, and was a Parade Magazine high school All-American soccer player.
Yeah, he had a really cool career until you mentioned soccer. But no, that's crazy impressive.
And I forgot to mention he's deaf.
What?
Yeah, he has 5% residual hearing to help him speak and is a fluent lip reader. So he's deaf and accomplished all that shit.
That's wild to me. Soccer, it almost makes sense why soccer and baseball, right? You don't have to communicate as much. But basketball, like especially being able to be a good defender and not being able to hear, that's crazy. Coach McSwain would have a field day with no, that's crazy impressive. Anytime somebody is like blind or deaf or has some kind of like like disability of the senses like that is just crazy impressive to me. Like we rely so much on sight and hearing and touch and all that stuff. Like I can't even imagine if one of those was gone.
I mean, you're playing basketball, you're all defensive team, and you can't even hear if somebody else is calling out a screen.
Right.
You're a point guard, so it's all of it's predicated on communication.
Right. They must have had some good hand and arm signals calling out plays.
Yeah, I mean, that was the most. I mean, 3 sports at a high level is nuts, but also 23 years of professional baseball is crazy.
That's a long time. And baseball, you can play a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But still, that's just the longevity is nuts. Okay, that brings us to our next segment, Reddit stories. Do you have one to read, or you just send me that one?
I have one to read as well. So
All right.
I'll go first, and
Okay.
then so the ones on this page, it's called "Am I the Asshole?"
Okay.
So, and then we'll discuss if we think this person is an asshole.
I like it.
So mine and then yours.
Right.
Okay, so the title of this one is "Am I the Asshole for Not Wanting to Buy a Car with My Boyfriend?" My boyfriend of 5 years scrapped his car in November. It had too many repairs and he couldn't afford to pay for them, and it wasn't worth the age of the car. Since we don't live together, we are moving in together in June. He has been sharing his car with his mom. His parents have 3 cars. He is getting tired of the back and forth of having to share and borrow with his mom's car, so he wants to get his own. I currently own my car. It's a little old but reliable. I bought it when I was a student and kept it ever since. It's a smaller hatchback car. Sometimes I complain about wanting something newer, but with car prices right now and inflation, I have no need for a new car. With our move, my boyfriend recently suggested that we buy a new car together. He suggested we get something we both like and would be a comfortable and we would be comfortable paying. We'd split 75-25 as he would be driving it more often than I would, but we'd be planning for the long term by getting something bigger, like an SUV we could keep for more than 5 years. I quickly shut him down and he got angry about this, which turned into a huge fight. He said I was being selfish. On my end, I own my car and have no need for another bigger car. Car payments really don't seem attractive to me. He argued that his decision would benefit us both as we're basically buying something together that we could use together. I know deep down he doesn't have bad intentions, but this rubbed me the wrong way. During the argument, he told me that I was being selfish. Financially, I know that I'm making the right decision. Would buying a car together be better than having him make this purchase alone? Am I the asshole?
Well, that's a lot to unpack. My initial thoughts is I don't think that person's an asshole for not wanting a car payment, right? Car payments are a little unnecessary, especially if you don't have the funds. I think it would kind of depend on the situation. Their boyfriend, girlfriend, right?
Yeah, boyfriend, girlfriend. The boyfriend wants to buy the car.
Yeah, if the boyfriend wants a car, he should buy a car. Like the girlfriend doesn't need to split a car with them, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I do understand planning for the future a little bit and it being both their cars, but to me, it sounds like the boyfriend's going to drive that car every day.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I don't think she's an asshole. I think he might be being a little manipulative trying to get her to pay 25% of the payment. If he wants a car, he should take it, pay the whole payment.
Yeah, I'm with it. Or just get, something a little bit on the cheaper end, have a
Yep.
smaller car payment and be able to rock with that. The boyfriend girlfriend thing gets complicated when you start, splitting money, because people don't always stay together forever.
Yeah, I
Um,
think it's a little different if you're married.
right,
Like me and Marissa did that. We've been together 10 years.
right.
So if it was that case, then I think it'd be a little different.
And
But
also, I feel like you and her were on the same page in terms of what you were trying to look for and stuff like that.
yeah,
And marriage like is a financial institution, right? Your money is her money is your money. It's just kind of how it works.
see, you're a little bit wrong with that statement there. My money is her money, and her money is her money.
Nah, see, I disagree, but it's a good thing our wives don't listen to this podcast. Um, yeah, long story short, I don't think you're an asshole.
Yeah, we agree on that one.
All right, so on to my Am I the Asshole? I saw the title of this and I was like, AITI, what the hell does that even mean? But now I get it. Am I the asshole? All right, title. Am I the asshole? Because I told my wife to look at my asshole because what she put in my bath might have given it a chemical burn. I, 33 male, have been experiencing lower back pain, and with a 1 year old, it makes it difficult to run around and play with him. My wife, 35 female, shout out to you for getting cougar, being super amazing and thoughtful, drew me a bath so I could soak, not the Mormon type of soaking. Now, now I want to preface that I find, sorry, my fucking eyes, I can barely read. Um, I'm still recovering. I'm wearing my sunglasses for you listeners. I'm sitting in a dark room wearing sunglasses. That tells you how bad it is. But now I want to preface that I find what my wife did was extremely thoughtful and she's an amazing woman partner. But as I'm writing this, it feels like I'm currently being sodomized by Frosty the Snowman. I get in I get in the tub and within 5 minutes my O-ring is starting to tingle. And in another 2 minutes, my asshole is singing, "Do you want to build a snowman?" I call for my wife pretty frantically and she comes running in. I am bent over, spread cheeks, trying to dry off my beehole. I ask her what she put in the tub because it feels like I just got a rim job by Elsa. She starts getting a tear in her eye and she she points towards a jar of Vicks vapor crystals. She is now in the living room not talking to me because she thinks I'm a jerk because I was making fun of her for trying to make me feel better. Am I the asshole? Oof. I would imagine that would be a pretty brutal sensation. Just tingling beehole, as his words. Um, your wife's got to know better than to put some Vicks vapor crystals in bath. So I would say you're not the asshole. Um, but he say wife or girlfriend?
Wife.
Yeah, if she's your wife, she's got to be comfortable looking at you just bent over, spread cheeks.
I agree. I don't think he's the asshole, but maybe a warning when she's coming in the room that you're standing there, spread cheeks. Like I don't know if that's the first thing that she should do when she walks in the room, like right into your dirt star. Um, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you're an asshole.
I don't think you're an asshole. I can just picture, for some reason, I'm picturing this as you. and Marissa, right? And Marissa just walking into that bathroom, that front bathroom in your house, and you're just cheeks spread, bent over. That's the first thing she sees.
Wouldn't be the first time, buddy.
That's a regular occurrence for you guys, huh?
Yep, every night before we go to bed.
Oh God. Yeah, so I don't think you're an asshole. But I think you might want to just kind of take a step back and rethink how you solve problems.
Also, he was taking a bath for lower back pain, right?
Yeah.
So he must have had micro cuts like in his asshole because it wouldn't just burn.
Yeah, he's probably been doing some weird shit with his butt.
Well, taking like wiping too much or something like because you don't just it doesn't just burn unless there's like an open wound.
Yeah. Hey, we don't know what they're into, man.
Yeah, I mean that's not my business. It's neither here nor there. But he's not an asshole. He's a freakazoid because his butt was all cut up. But
Oh yeah, he's a freak. All right, so next thing we're gonna get into is this ongoing rat beef, right? Some more happenings have happened. I'm gonna go over a couple things. I'm gonna kind of go over the timeline of everything that's dropped before we kind of get into it. So Kendrick was obviously featured on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That, which was March 22nd, right? Then J. Cole dropped his album Might Delete Later, which was pretty accurate because he did delete his diss track 7 Minute Drill later, pretty about a day after actually dropping it. Rick Ross drops his Champagne Moments, which wasn't that great of a diss. He's just calling Drake white boy the whole time, which is funny. Um, then after that, J. Cole deletes his diss track. Drake drops Push Ups targeting Kendrick on April 19th. So we had to wait a little bit of time before Drake actually dropped. He was finishing up a tour. But after April 19th, like it started moving really fast. So Drake dropped Push Ups. Drake then drops Tailor Made Freestyle on April 24th. Kendrick dropped his Euphoria on April 24th, same day. Kendrick then goes back to back, dropping 616 in LA on May 3rd. Drake drops Family Matters on May 4th. Kendrick goes back to back again, dropping Meet the Grams minutes after Drake releases Family Matters. And then finally, late last night, Kendrick dropped Not Like Us. My initial take on the thing is that Kendrick has flipped the narrative and makes it seem like Drake started everything. Like our rap analyst, Wes, sent out a drunk snap last night saying that Drake barked up the wrong tree, which I think this is exactly what Kendrick is trying to make people think is that Drake started everything. And that's why I think Kendrick is ultimately winning because he's flipped this narrative thinking that Drake started everything and he's just responding and blah, blah, blah. Well, really, Drake's the one, or I mean, Kendrick's the one that, you know, came out with name dropping stuff like that. But it's pretty wild. I mean, to me, after listening to all of it, I listened to it again this morning, like every one of them. I don't know what else there is to say. It's getting crazy personal, and both of these people are way too powerful, have way too many people in their organizations. I really hope it doesn't turn into some sort of physical violence. But right now, I don't see any other way it can turn. They're like insulting each other's families, tarnishing each other's names with insults of being pedophiles, beating spouses. Like it's getting very personal.
did that happen? Did Kendrick beat his wife?
I don't know. But Drake is saying he did.
Yeah.
They're also saying that Drake got a BBL, which obviously he didn't get a Brazilian butt lift, but they're saying he, got some plastic surgery on his nose. He used some fake shit to get abs. He's on Ozempa or whatever the fuck it is.
Ozempic.
Ozempic, Ozempa, Ozempic, same difference.
I haven't I listened to Not Like Us, and it's good. It's not really my style,
Yeah.
but I mean he's coming after him. And that's the one where it's got like the sexual predator
Yeah.
thing on Drake's mansion.
Right.
Um, I was reading that that's not publicly available information in Canada. So I don't know if it's just photoshopped or he knows a police officer.
You talking about this the sexual or registered sex offender stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he made that graphic. I don't think that's an actual thing. I don't think there's a sexual predator target on Drake's house. Um, but I mean the allegations are pretty wild.
I saw, and like a lot of like old lyrics are coming up, and a Drake lyric from maybe the song's like Party Time or some shit. It's like Sierra Canyon parking lot looking like Magic City parking lot. And I'm like, Sierra Canyon High School? Like a strip club parking lot? What the fuck is wrong with you?
He's not saying that. I see what you're saying. That's taken out of context. He's just saying that it's packed because Sierra Canyon was like the basketball games they'd go to. The parking
I,
lot would be packed.
it's tough. I mean, obviously context always matters, but that's a tough one.
Yeah, that doesn't help. It doesn't help at all. I truly hope we don't get a Tupac Biggie situation. Like these two artists are way too influential to be, killing each other.
Where they both get murdered.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
yeah, you say that, but when you start talking about people's character and their families, and you know,
I know, but it ain't the fucking 90s anymore. No one will get away with it. Like they still haven't found those fucking guys. So people will go to jail now. So I think it's a little different. There's too much.
Kendrick made a reference to Drake's upcoming tour, and he has a show in Oakland, basically saying, like, I don't know if you're gonna make it out of Oakland, buddy.
That would be insane.
That would be insane. Um,
The reason I can't say who I think is winning or not because I haven't listened to two of them, but the bar about John Stockton was wild. Like basically calling uh Drake Carl Malone, who is a known pedophile.
right.
And then Drake deleted he has an Instagram post with Carl Malone and Drake deleted it.
Yeah, that's a bad look too.
That's not a great look.
Yeah, it's all wild, man. Honestly, I would like to see it be over. Um, I would like to see Drake not respond for a couple months. Like everybody's like, oh, blah blah blah. Kendrick won, whatever. Drake's an international superstar. It's not like people are gonna not listen to his music anymore. I would like to see Drake work on a pretty significant project, drop a project, um, kind of do some shit talking, like, oh, talking about how much he's gonna sell, how big of an artist he is, and just the bragging in that sense versus coming back and saying that Kendrick has a kid with his manager. It's not really his kid, blah blah blah. Like I want to see the family shit, the whole petty like digging for dirt thing. That's not what I want to see in a rap beef.
I feel that.
Yeah. So my hope is that this ends soon. I love the new music. I'm here for it. But honestly, I can't even keep up. It's too much.
It's I mean, I'm having a hard time keeping up.
Yeah. I went through this morning and just listened to each one again just so we could talk about it a little bit. But yeah, I'm ready to move on. Each of them go back to their respective different types of rap. Kendrick is great at what he does. Drake is great at what he does. Um, it's hard to compare who's the better one. You know what I mean?
What would be your favorite song out of the what is it, 7 songs that have been released? by the two of them, not including J. Cole. Also.
I'm trying to remember. I think my favorite one was still 7 Minute Drill. And I like the song like that, the one that originally started everything. Drake, Drake's flow is better. On especially push-ups and then Family Matters than Kendrick's is, in my opinion, just because I like that style of music. But I think like as far as the beat, 616 in LA, like was pretty like it had a really groovy beat to it. I really like that.
I've heard mixed stuff. I know Wes really likes Kendrick stuff, and Corey is riding pretty hard for Drake right now.
Yeah, I mean
And
it's pretty even to me in terms of the tea that they've spilled about each other.
yeah,
Kendrick has released two back to back without a Drake response, so I think that probably puts him in the slight lead because there isn't a response. But to me, it's like whoever drops last then takes the lead.
yeah,
It's gonna be like that. It's got to end with something. Um,
yeah. It can't go on forever.
it can't go on forever. There's only so much they can say about each other. So I'm hoping that eventually somebody becomes the bigger person, and I think it's gonna have to be Drake because I don't see Kendrick stopping.
Yeah, well, he definitely hates him way more, I think.
I think Kendrick, yeah, he actually hates Drake, and Drake, like, I don't think, I think Drake, Kendrick bugs Drake, and stuff like that, but Kendrick hates Drake.
Yeah, there's some colorism going on,
Definitely some colorism.
which that's tough for us to comment on, being
Yeah.
being white skinned, but I feel like that doesn't get anybody anywhere.
No, it doesn't. Especially from Kendrick thinking you think he's like the one that builds up the black man. I think his argument is saying like Drake isn't doing a good job of building up the black man. Um,
Yeah, and that he's like basically appropriated black culture.
right, right.
But can you appropriate black culture if you're a black guy?
I don't know. I mean, where he's coming from is saying things like you didn't have to struggle like other black men had to struggle. And
Well, yeah,
everything that you talk about is from a made up space.
yeah. I can't really speak to Drake's struggle, but I do know that he was on Degrassi
Yeah,
as a
I don't think they wanted for much growing up.
yeah. So I don't know if he was really struggling being a child actor, uh, and like talking about like gang shit. He does get shot on Degrassi though.
Yeah. I mean, he's got that
Oh.
going for him.
He does get shot on a TV show.
Yeah. He overcame a real handicap.
Yeah.
Some would say a miracle.
The only beef I have with anybody is that Drake thinks he can hoop.
Yeah. I would bet he can hoop better than Kendrick. Maybe they should play one on one.
Oh, he'll definitely. Kendrick can't hoop. There's no way.
But we don't know. Never seen it.
No, buddy, he can't, and neither can Drake. By the way, it would be the worst one-on-one game ever played.
Yeah. I think we've probably seen some worse one on one games at the rec.
I have one is coming to mind, but I'm not going to bring it up.
All right, so moving on from that topic because I feel like we could talk about it all day. But a special thing happened this week was Kentucky Derby. Um, so I think you're a little bit more versed in the Kentucky Derby, but I'll just share some of my thoughts. Um, Mystic Dan took home first. Is that correct?
Yep.
Sierra Leone was my pick and came in second by a nose hair. A little pissed. I had about $10 riding on my guy Sierra Leone, so I'd have been pretty pumped if they took. Ferocious was the heavy favorite and end up finishing 15th. Fun fact: I have never correctly picked the Kentucky Derby correctly, but I've always been like within the top five. It's pretty frustrating to be close every time, but I've never actually got that winner.
So the Derby's interesting. So if you would have bet what's called an exacta, It's where you pick the first two. And if you would have boxed it, you would get, and your pick finished. Actually, reverse that. You would have had to get both right, but either order. And then trifecta is you pick three. And if you do box, you can get the top three in any order. But if you would have picked Sierra Leone and bet what's called across the board, you get either first, second, or third. So you would have won money because they finished in second.
Yeah.
I had my mom, two of my aunts, and Austin over. Had some drinks. We watched that. Then I put on the game after that. I had a little fire. And we actually I have these two really nice electric bikes that I've never used before. I got them for free and charged them up. And they go probably like 15, 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And we were fucking getting after it in the neighborhood.
Fuck yeah. Nothing like drinking and driving.
Well, can you call it drinking and driving? Yes, you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
You absolutely can. We were riding by somebody's house, and I'm pretty sure somebody threw something at Austin.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what it was. We got back to my house, and he was like, I think somebody threw something in the street at me. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, all right, well, let's put the bikes up and go back inside.
That would have been a great way to finish off your night. It's just a brawl in old Cape Cod.
Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Yeah, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, of course. Sounds like a nice night though. Kentucky Derby is always a fun thing to watch. It is so short, but it's like, I mean, if you got money on a horse, that is like, I mean, an adrenaline rush. Talk about a gambling addict's worst nightmare and dream scenario all in one.
I'm going one year.
I'd love to go.
I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah, I'd love to go. I don't know if we quite have Derby money yet,
Not yet.
but I think when we let's hit 36. When we hit 36, we'll go.
So 8 years. Yeah. Okay. If I don't have the money by then, I don't deserve to go.
We don't deserve it.
This podcast will be so big by the time we're 36.
Yeah, we'll probably both quit our jobs and just be making podcasts pretty much daily, and we'll probably never have to work again.
I hope so. That would be cool.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'd have a lot of time to work on my yard because it's trash right now. My baseball field is not getting better.
My free lawnmower that Wes gave me, he said there was something wrong with the pull cord, which there was, and I fixed it. And now the pull cord works fine, but now there's something wrong. I think I need new spark plugs. So it's turning into a project that I'm not really qualified to handle, but I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, that's fair. So with that, I think we take a short commercial break, and then we'll get back to you. Have you or a loved one ever suffered from not being able to bench 225? Doctors recommend taking 20 milligrams of Stop Being a Bitch twice daily, best absorbed as a suppository. Sleep confidently, knowing you can defend your family. All right, and we're back, and we have NBA playoffs up. So you had some people over, family over, and you watched T-Wolves game?
Yeah, I watched the start of the T-Wolves game. I saw Ant going crazy to start the game. And then we were, drinking, whatever, went outside, had a fire. And we came back in with like 8 minutes to go in the fourth. So I watched the close of the game. I watched Ant and Nas Reed close them out. It was Ant's a cold-blooded fucking killer, son.
Killer.
He's easily my favorite player in the league, other than Braun.
He's got to be. I mean, he's the new face of the NBA. I don't care what anybody says about KD, Steph, any of that, man. Ant he's next. He's now.
Yeah, he's now.
But yeah, T-Wolves up 1-0 in the Nuggets. I watched the game. say watched because I could barely see it, but I was basically listening to the game through the TV. I do wish I got to see a little bit more, but man, dude, he went crazy in the first half. I think 25 in the first half. Just everything, just pull up threes, just taking people off the dribble, pulling up mid range. Like it was very Jordan-esque. Slowed down a little bit in the second half, but other people stepped up, so he didn't really have to. Um, but he closed it out. Some of those like turnaround fadeaway jumpers and just like crossover into a pull up jumper from mid range were next level. Like, and he was not missing. And then Naz Reid, like you said, came out of nowhere. I think Cat was in foul trouble, is why Naz Reid was playing a lot. And it started with that bank shot three. I don't know if you saw that, but Naz Reid hit a bank shot three in the fourth, and then I think he scored like 9 straight. Um, Naz Reid undrafted, right? He's putting in big minutes for them.
6th man of the year this year.
Did he win it?
Yep.
I didn't realize that. But yeah, he killed. And they're a tough matchup for the Nuggets because the Nuggets really only have Jokic as their big man. Like Aaron Gordon's their 4, but he's a small 4. And then their backup center, DeAndre Jordan, like, let's be real, it's not 2015 anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sure, he can get in there, bang a little bit, and get a couple fouls drawn. But if you try and match him up with Cat, like Cat's going to eat DeAndre Jordan alive. Sure, when you have just Rudy in there as your big, you can get away with putting DeAndre Jordan in because Rudy's not really going to score on you. But I'm interested to see. I do think T-Wolves got a little lucky in the fourth quarter. Like I said, that Naz Reid bank shot three kind of ignited them. And they stole one from the Nuggets at home, and that's what it's going to take. They're going to have to steal them from them at home if they're going to have a chance to win this series.
Yeah, if you can get one from them at home, you're on the right track. They're a good fucking team, dude.
Yeah, they are.
But so are the Timberwolves. Timberwolves might have the size and the offensive firepower with Anthony Edwards to take them down.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. But Jamal Murray's dealing with that calf thing. And if you're dealing with a calf injury at the beginning of the series, like you're not really going to have time to get better throughout. Like these games are back to back to back. Like that's going to take a toll on him. So I'm interested to see 2, 3, and 4 if they decide to sit him one of the games and try and get him some extra rest. But if they sit him, I just don't really see. I know Reggie Jackson played pretty well. But then again, it's not 2018 anymore. Reggie Jackson's not really that guy. He did play really well last night, but
yeah, he is probably one of the better backup guards in the league, though.
yeah, for sure. But that's what he is. He's a backup guard.
And then my boy hit 2 threes, so that my bet is going.
I know, I saw that. He hit the second one with like 40 seconds left. So you're sitting where you need to sit. 2 made a game. He took like 6, I think, though. So that's good. That's playing against your favor as well, or playing to your favor as well, because he's shooting a lot.
Took 9.
Say what?
2 for 9.
2 for 9?
Yeah.
God. Yeah, that's not a good not a good attempt to make ratio for me in this bet.
If he shoots 9 a game, I'm winning the bet.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully he does not. But it is what it is. As long as the T-Wolves win, I don't care. I'll pay you $10. I actually had the T-Wolves T-Wolves plus 4.5, so I ended up winning that bet. I did take a lock, apparently, that Drew sent me.
Yeah, that was an awful bet.
So I took it just because I wanted to roll with my pal, and that shit was broken in like the first quarter.
Like when he sent me it and he had under for Anthony Edwards, and I was like, you're fucked already. Under 26.5. I was like, there's no chance.
Yeah. I thought there was hope that they might hold them under just because I thought their approach maybe like let everybody other than Ant beat us. Um, but he's just too good.
Yeah, I mean that works if he's not the fucking best player on the court.
Yeah. Um, so today we have actually happening right now. I don't know what the score is, but best phrase in sports, game 7, Magic and Cavs. It's at Cleveland. Cavs are favored by 3.5. This is not me having any idea what the score is right now, but I did like the Cavs before, but after watching that game 6 where I said the Cavs were going to win, so I was wrong about that. But the Magic are fun to watch. And if Jared Allen is still hurt for the Cavs, they're going to have some trouble dealing with that size. Magic lineup is big, especially with Jonathan Isaac in there.
I don't want to say it's over, but the Orlando's up 49-33 with 4 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's definitely not over.
Well,
But
especially you got Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland.
yeah, those two can score with the best of them.
But Paolo Banchero gets to the line whenever he wants.
Yeah, he really does. And if he's making a three, like if he's hitting those walk in, those open threes, he's damn near unguardable.
I forgot how fucking big he was.
Huge. Like, and he's not just tall either. That's a big boy.
He's only 21 too. So he's fucking jacked.
Yeah, that's absurd. That's another one. Like, could be one of the next faces of the NBA.
Probably the most underrated guy in the league right now. Number 1 overall pick, taking his team to the playoffs. That was terrible in his second year, and he's getting no kind of love from the media.
No, no love. And they barely show his games on national TV. I think he's only had a handful of games on national TV.
Fuck, Donovan Mitchell's good though. He just had a nasty ass move.
Yeah, they're good. I'm gonna turn that on after we finish this. But I think tomorrow Pacers and Knicks play. I would be happy with either of those teams advancing. Um, but something tells me the Knicks are going to pull out a hard fought series win in 7. I think each team basically wins their home games, and it defaults to game 7 at New York.
The, I like both those teams. I the Pacers, I had 2 of those guys on my fantasy team, Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner. Um, they're a good team, but I don't know if they've got enough to beat the Knicks right now.
Yeah, the Knicks are just they have like that grit about them. Those 3 from Villanova have such a chemistry. Brunson is really freaking good. Um, they're they're just clicking. And Tibbs, he has them playing defense. Like,
Josh Hart's the fucking glue guy, man.
yeah, he is. So I'm gonna be interested to watch that one. Um, Lakers, right? Fire Darvin Ham, which I think, I wasn't the biggest fan of Darvin Ham. I think he got kind of the short end of the stick. I mean, he did take him to the Western Conference Finals last year. Um, Something had to happen. I don't know if it was necessarily Darvin Ham that needed to go. I mean, maybe we're talking about a GM issue. But I mean, if I was the GM and it felt like I was on the hot seat, I'd fire the coach too.
Yeah, it's a somebody's gonna get scapegoated. Like 2 years ago, trade deadline, or I guess it was 2 years. No, it must have been last year. Russ got scapegoated.
Yeah.
This year, Darvin Ham gets scapegoated. They're gonna make some moves in the offseason. I think you unload D'Lo. I like D'Lo, but he's just too good to not perform in the playoffs.
Yeah. I just don't know who they get at this point. I just don't see a way forward.
I th- it's tough because who's gonna want to grab him after seeing him not be? You're gonna have to go probably to a franchise who's not a contender and just try and get some young players.
If I was the Lakers, I would try to start getting younger. Um,
They got a plan post LeBron.
they do. I think they're still holding on to the fact that they can win a championship right now, and I think they can, but they need a legit point guard, they need shooting, right? They have decent, they can defend. And I think Darvin Ham was a pretty good coach in terms of like focusing on defense. But they just didn't have anybody that could score other than LeBron or AD. Sometimes Reeves, sometimes D'Lo, but they just weren't consistent at all. And it screwed them down the stretch.
They got to get deeper too. I mean, they had guys on their bench that you would think would be able to perform. Like Spencer Dinwiddie didn't do shit that whole series, and he's really good. So I think for him it's like a rhythm thing. I don't think he's playing enough to really get into a good rhythm. Christian Wood, solid player, but he's coming off an injury, so I understand that. But like Cam Reddish, like players talk about how good Cam Reddish is.
Yeah, Cam Reddish has to be, he's a volume guy. I think he's got to be getting shots, and I just don't think there's enough going around for him to play. I would have liked to see Dinwiddie as the starting point guard. Let him be in that starting point guard role, control the offense. I do think like there are times when LeBron turns into the point guard, but it's usually because they don't have a point guard on the team. Like Reeves is not a point guard. He can play the one, but maybe the point guard off the bench is Reeves. D'Lo's not really a point guard either. He's a two. I would have liked to see Dinwiddie be the starting point guard and let D'Lo play off the ball a little bit more. Reeves kind of come in off the bench and do his thing. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I see they're talking Ty Lue and JJ Redick have are serious candidates for this head coaching job. Do you think if JJ Redick gets hired, he's going to be still doing the podcast with LeBron or?
JJ Redick's not getting hired. I'm hedging my bets on Jason Kidd.
Yeah, I mean, I like J Kidd. I just
He
don't
won
think much is going to be different.
he won a championship with them as an assistant coach under Frank Vogel. He's played with LeBron on the Redeem team, so they've got some history together. And LeBron will respect Jason Kidd because he's a fucking Hall of Famer. So
Yeah, I
I
mean, I like it. Are we for sure LeBron's coming back?
yeah. You talking about coming back to Lakers or coming back to play? Period.
Coming back to the Lakers.
Yeah, I think I've heard rumblings of him re-signing a 2-year deal, which wouldn't surprise me. I think Bronny is going to have an effect on it, but I think he's going to get undrafted and go back to college.
Well, I mean, he's going to the combine. He got invited to the combine, which I think he'll perform well at the combine because he has the intangibles. He has the vertical. He has the quickness. He's going to perform well in that, which could get somebody to draft him, maybe second round. Now, with that, if he gets drafted to somebody like the Magic or the Knicks, like, what do we think? Does
Yeah, I
LeBron
mean,
sign there?
if you're a team that's right there and you can get a guy that potentially in the future can help you win and get LeBron now to push you over the edge. Like a team like I don't know how he'd fit with the Knicks because they're so defensive oriented and just like total like team ball. They don't really have guys that are well, I don't know. They got shooters on that team too.
I
But
think
with
he fit
but
awesome
with
with them.
Brunson, I don't think LeBron and Brunson play well together.
I think LeBron is looking for someone to take a load off.
Well, he deserves it. It's been fucking 45 years since he's been in the league.
I think he's looking for somebody to take a load off, and I think Brunson is very capable. He's proving he can do it by himself practically. Now you put LeBron on that team, and you have Bronny come in, maybe play on the G League team, right? He might not even be on the
Yeah.
roster. He might get called up as a two-way contract and just be on the squad. And I mean, he could turn into a heck of a backup point guard one day, 3-and-D guy. Like he's
Yeah,
crazy athletic.
he's got the makeup of a 3-and-D guy. He's an elite defender.
Yeah.
And people, he didn't have a great year at USC, but he's coming off a fucking heart attack.
Yeah. And they USC already had someone established as like their guy.
Yeah.
So, and I mean college, like the stats don't tell the full story in college. Like it's a different game. Um,
Like
you're running
he had a
sets.
better season his freshman year than Russell Westbrook had at UCLA.
Yeah,
So, and Russell Westbrook is a first ballot Hall of Famer. So I think it's too early to fucking write him off.
right. And I mean the play styles are similar, Russell and Bronny. I think obviously Russell's one of the most explosive people of all time. But great defenders. Um, Bronny has shown that he can shoot a little bit better than Westbrook could at that point. Obviously, it's hard to compare Westbrook and Bronny because Westbrook, like you said, is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not saying Bronny's Westbrook,
right.
but also he's not as big as Russell Westbrook either.
Well, Westbrook's 6'4", Bronny's 6'3".
I don't believe that Westbrook is 6'4",
Okay.
and I don't believe Bronny's 6'3".
Okay.
Bronny's 6'1" and Russ is 6'5".
I disagree.
That's my
Um,
story, and I'm sticking to it.
whatever helps you sleep at night. Um, but I'd like to see LeBron go somewhere else. Play a couple years with Bronny, maybe have one last shot for a deep playoff run in the championship, and then sail off into the sunset.
If he plays a couple years with Bronny, then Bryce is right there, and
You might as
LeBron
well stay, right?
LeBron plays till he's 50.
Yeah, I don't know. But let's get into our last segment, random question. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go first.
All right. This is hard-hitting topic.
Okay.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oof.
Now, let me give you the definition of a sandwich. An item
Dictionary.
of, huh?
Dictionary is Webster's.
Yeah. An item of food consisting of two pieces of bread with meat, cheese, or other filling between them, eaten as a light meal.
Okay, I don't know if I've ever had a sandwich by that definition because when I have a sandwich, it ain't a fucking light meal. You heard?
Well, yeah, well, you know.
Unified front. Secondly, I think that definition seals it. Two pieces of bread. A hot dog bun is one piece of bread.
Is it?
I think so. I think it's connected at the bottom.
What if you split them?
Then it's a sandwich.
So just me ripping this piece of bread in half makes it a sandwich?
Yep.
Okay, so your answer is sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a cheap way out, but whatever.
Okay. I'm going to double down. It is a sandwich.
All right.
That's actually not me doubling down. That's the opposite of doubling down.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
completely flip flopping. I think it's a sandwich.
All right. I respect your opinion. I'm going to say no. Hot dog is its own entity.
Okay. Um, my question: when you think of this franchise, who is the first player that comes to mind? You ready?
Hmm.
The Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Oh, God, I'm going to say his name wrong. Evan Longoria?
No, that's his name.
That's his name? That's the first player that comes to mind.
Okay.
Who's the right fielder?
Carl Crawford.
Carl Crawford comes to mind as well, but not first. First was the third baseman, Evan Longoria.
Carl Crawford, potential multi-sport athlete.
True. True. He could be featured on an upcoming episode. Maybe we'll get him on the pod.
There is something I think we should touch on. I know we don't have much time, but
We got plenty of time.
there were two questions posed to us, and there has been some bitching that I have not answered them.
All right.
They're both from Mikey Two Sticks.
Figures.
And we answered the basketball question, I think, with a lot of grace and thought. So we will do that for one of these questions. One of these questions I'm just going to say, and then I'm going to go past it. one question was, which one of you is the better, in parentheses, cuck to your wives? And then we're both good husbands. So I'm going to breeze right past that one.
Yeah, I mean, I have a comment. We are good husbands. Maybe he should take a couple notes.
Roasted. Second question is, and I think we're going to disagree on this one, is which one of us would win in a fight? Two
Okay.
people who have never been in a fight.
All right. So my take is that if it was an actual fight, right, we'd probably be doing a lot of wrestling. I don't think it would go anywhere. But if there's no one to break it up, you'd be dead exhausted in 30 seconds. And then I could have my way with you. You better beat my ass in 30 seconds because that's all you got.
I'm gonna do a little bit more of an analysis. If it was boxing, I think you would outpoint me because I don't think I'd be able to hit you that much. I don't think anybody's really going to get hurt in a boxing match, other than my heart when I die in the 6th round.
Right. I don't think you make it 6.
2-minute rounds?
I don't think you make it 6.
I'm making it 6, buddy.
I think you got 2 before your hands on your knees, and I can just punch you, and you're just hoping to tackle me at that point.
Now, so I'll give you boxing just on winning via the point system. But if it's MMA and we're in a smaller octagon than the typical octagon, and I get my hands on you, you're fucked.
Yeah, but like when you say fucked, you're just gonna lay on me for 30 seconds and then get tired and then do nothing. Like what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna put you in a chokehold like I've done in the past and put you to sleep.
Yeah, I don't think you could do that. I
I've
think
done
you
it.
could get me in a chokehold initially, but I don't think you have the technique to actually put me out.
You said I needed 30 seconds. I'm doing it in 28.
Yeah, I don't think you got 30 seconds in you. Because say you get my back, you try and get a chokehold, right? You're gonna squeeze with all your might. That's gonna be your 30 seconds right there. If I slip out of that chokehold, you are absolutely cooked.
But you're looking at this like I've got no discipline. I'm not just blowing the whole fucking load immediately. I'm getting the neck. This is turning erotic, homoerotic. I'm going to leave it at I win.
All right, I disagree.
We can. You want to poll it, or you want to just?
I think we could pull it if you'd like. I think I'm far too athletic for you to have your way with me on the ground. And I mean, honestly, you think about core lifts right now. I'm stronger than you on all core lifts.
I don't think it
Everyone.
matters.
You don't think it matters that I have more physical strength than you?
You have more physical strength than me in a weight room, but real life farm boy strength, I got you.
Homeboy strength. I don't want to hear about it. You're probably in there taking Vicks Vapor Rub baths.
Nice callback.
Your lower back would probably be shot because you haven't done a core exercise since the last time I told you to do one. True or false?
True.
The last core exercise was probably a flutter kick 4 months ago, and it was probably 10 of them.
It was 20.
Okay. Did you do them?
I did them when I was prescribed them.
So you'd probably slip a disc in your back before you even got me to the ground.
I'm putting you out. Now I'm going to fuck you up.
Yeah. Now you're upset and you're going to be, even more worked up, which is going to get that adrenaline pumping and that heart pumping even more. And you're going to get tired more faster.
More faster. Okay.
Hey, this is who would win a fight, not who talks best.
All right. Well, that's all I got. Mike's questions answered. I really hope that somebody will ask us an actual question that we can answer.
Yeah, we're our huge following. We need some input.
It says we have 20 listeners, but I don't know. I don't think it could possibly be accurate.
It could be. It could be 20 people have clicked on the podcast to listen to. So those are our 20. I would bet we probably have like 5 or 6. Which, you know what? With us not having shared it with anybody, I think 5 or 6 is good. That just means we're at least sparking the interest of like-minded people. So that's good.
We did pick up a new follower.
Who's that?
Don't know. We have 15 followers. It won't let me see who they are.
Huh. Interesting. All right. Well, we'll do some digging. You guys post some questions that you want answered. We'll answer them. We won't even say you can say you want it asked anonymously, and we won't out you.
Yeah, and like, share. I don't know. I don't actually I don't know if I want you to share. Just give us 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. All right, bro. Well, I'll hit you up. We'll chat about potentially doing a Thursday.
All right.
All right, bro. Later.
Bye.